I'm Sonya, a personal brand and style coach. My journey began in the corporate world and through lived experiences has led me where I am today. I've walked in those uncomfortable shoes, faced the same challenges and questioned my path to professional success while simultaneously navigating my personal style journey and the challenges that each decade brings. I wholeheartedly believe in the fusion of personal brand and style strategy. My mission here is to provide you with practical, actionable strategies and lived experiences to help you unlock your next level of success through the power of personal brand and style. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of the Style and Strategy podcast. I'm your host, Sonya, and today I am going to be diving in a little bit deeper around personal brand and specifically around what makes you unique as part of your personal brand. And if you're not sure or you find it difficult to really put that on paper and communicate it or verbalize it to others, a really simple way to do that. So when I talk about personal brand, I normally talk about it in light of aligning your brand so that way to your style. So that way those two can really be accentuated. So I think it's really important up front to be really clear that your personal brand is not your job title. It's nothing to do with that. So kind of park that to one side. And the second component is to also consider that there's always some small chapter at the back of the book around your style and your appearance, like it has nothing to do with your personal brand. And that's where I'm here to challenge that concept and theory. I think some of the basis behind this is, to put it in really simple terms, if you think about if you are interviewing for a role or an opportunity of some sort, and there's many different candidates that are applying for that, there's going to be a few, once someone has interviewed, say 10 or 20 candidates for this particular opportunity, that in fact, by the end of the day, as they're going through their papers and their notes, something needs to have stood out about you to be recognized and be noticed. And that is where your style and, in addition to your other talents and techniques, will play a role. Because if you think about it, if you are showing up not really in a way that can differentiate yourself, then it's highly likely that they will remember you, but you won't necessarily have maximized your opportunity of that moment by considering your style. So that is sort of one component that I also just really wanted to call out. But going back to practical tip around trying to work out, well, what is your unique position? What is your personal brand all about? So if you start off by thinking through three key things, being one is your talents. So sit back, take some time, have a think about what are some of your core talents? And I want you to sort of draw a circle and write all these details in this, because we're going to get to a point where you've created a bit of a Venn diagram out of it. Just to clarify that's the circle diagram. And so then I want you to think about your key skills that you have, which is different to some of the talents. And then thirdly, I want you to consider your experiences. Now, as you write down each one of these areas, what you'll be doing is actually trying to work out which of these are more unique, which of these talents, skills, and experiences is more unique out of this list that you've created. And you might come up with a top two out of each one of those particular lists. As you start to form that view, what that starts to do is create a sort of a circular, holistic view of elements that are making up your personal brand, but helping you to actually articulate what are some key areas that you have strengths and differentiate you in. Now, once you have those down, the other two elements to this is actually starting to think about what are your values? Like, what is important to you? And then underlying that with the talents, skills, and experiences, and then being able to craft this into a mission statement. Now, for those that have worked in corporate, I probably say the word mission statement and many of you shudder because you've seen the way in which mission statements may have been crafted in the past, and you very much align that to that corporate entity, and it potentially has no or doesn't feel like it's got any emotion attached to it. And so trying to reflect that back to one as an individual and create your own mission statement actually feels a little bit foreign. For those listening who are entrepreneurs, you may be more comfortable in this space because you've had to build your mission statement when you talked about, identifying your ideal client and trying to be really clear about who you're serving and how you're serving them and how you're different in that space. But for many who came from employed arrangements, thinking about yourself in this way is a little bit different and a little bit uncomfortable, to say the least. And it's sometimes not until I have some of these conversations with clients that they actually say, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, but I've just never thought about me in that way. And so why I believe this is really, really important is because if you start with these key areas, then you underline with that your values and then your key mission statement. It becomes easier to better understand what you actually stand for and what it is that you are aspiring towards. 2, it will start to lean in and start to show you more elements of where your personal style is actually heading to as well. There are actual glimpses of, depending on how all of those pieces come together, which is what I spend a lot of time on when I'm working with clients around this, to really be able to have this in a succinct and clearly communicated proposition. So that way, very much like when people say, do you have an elevator pitch? Your elevator pitch is sharp. That mission statement enables you in a networking environment, in elevator or anywhere else, to be able to articulate who you are, what you do, and what's important to you, and what most importantly makes you unique from anyone else, because you've spent the time to actually consider this overall. If you are familiar with or have done some of the Myers-Briggs or familiar with Marks and Pearson's sort of archetype scenarios, I also use something called an Enneagram as well to help really flesh out what those elements might be. They are really complementary to this whole exercise. And if this is something that you are interested in developing further and, working on that and then looking to align your personal style to this, then please yell out, let me know, and I'd love to have a chat around it further. So just recapping, again, it's sitting down, spend some time and work through and jot down what your talents are, what you believe your talents are, what skills you have that are unique to you, and what are some of those experiences. And what we're trying to do is really pull those together and then underlie that with your values, your core values, and being able to pull out from there your mission statement as well.
Thank you so much for being part of this inspiring episode. If you found value in today's discussion, please don't keep it a secret. Share it with a friend on social media, tag me at Your Style Collective, and leave a review. Your support means the world. Join me again next week for another empowering episode of Style and Strategy, the Leadership Series. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, you're already taking that first step towards your transformation journey. See you next time.